This is the nation's #1 talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audio-visual studios right here in Maryann Okon, Victoria Island, Lagos. Welcome to the Big Hard Fact. I am Maryann Okon. I did hint to you earlier on that we're going to be talking about our population, the figures, what we go by. We hear that, it's thrown around all the time. There were 200 plus million Nigerians, but then there are those who also are of the school of thought that this might be a debatable number. But then Mr. President has come out to say that he will be definitely interested in conducting a population census this year. I will quickly read out that memo that was signed by a presidential spokesperson recently. And then, of course, I will introduce my guest to you, who is a commissioner with the NPC. Welcome again, once again. We're live, facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. This is Hard Facts. Now, for those of you who do not know, I think very recently, the president's rejected 942 billion naira census budget, and he proposed that coppers be used. Of course, he did, like I say that he was interested in conducting a census. But when he saw the figures, he was like, oh, well, I think we might probably have to use core members. I'm going to try to get you that Bayonanaga press release, and then, of course, we'll go from there. Yes. So this was in February of this year, February 24. This year precisely, where the country decided to take a step closer to conducting a new national population and housing census with biometric and digital components. The nation last held a census in 2006 November. Now, President Bola Tinubu, at a meeting in Aso Rock with officials of the National Population Commission, said he would set up a committee to align the census budget to the government's present financial realities. He said the National Identity Management Commission must be part of it. He said, and I quote, "We must ascertain who we are, how many we are, and how to manage our data. Without accurate census, we can't successfully plan for employment, agriculture, and food sovereignty. So many problems come up without accurate data," said Mr. President. I'll put a pin there and introduce my guest to you. He's joining us live via Zoom. Professor Chika Moore is a former federal commissioner in the National Population Commission. Professor, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. If you would kindly turn on your camera so we can see you. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I'm with you.
Yes, because we're live streaming this, we'd like to see your face, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I have put it on. I thought you were seeing me.
No, I'm not seeing
I thought you. You're not seeing me.
No,
wow.
I can't see you.
Ah.
You probably have to turn off your camera and turn it back on. Just click on the camera icon, turn it off, and then turn it back on. Let's see if that's from your end.
That's what I'm doing now. I just did it.
Yeah, but we can't still see you. Oh dear. Unfortunately.
Okay, just let me try another means.
Okay, all right.
Ready to climb the corporate ladder of success? Let the stairs show you the way. In today's fast-changing world, success requires more than just hard work. It demands adaptability, emotional intelligence, and digital savvy. Every last Wednesday of the month from 4 to 5 p.m., we bring you the strategies and stories you need to thrive. Hear from industry trailblazers and visionaries sharing their secrets, how to network like a pro, harness the power of mentorship, and stay ahead in your career. Because climbing the ladder isn't about the corner office anymore. It's about thinking big, staying agile, and making meaningful connections. So, whether you're just starting out or chasing the next big leap, join us on the stairs. Let's elevate your career together on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, while we are trying to fix Professor Chika's camera, I think we should just go ahead with the conversation. I think he's trying to rejoin us. Let's see if that one works. Professor Chika Moore is a former commissioner with the National Population Commission. Yeah, Professor, this one works better. So you need to just rotate your camera. Just rotate it because you're upside down. Just rotate your camera like this. Just turn your phone to be straight because you're upside down. Yeah, I think it's perfect. No. Just leave it straight. Leave it straight. Just leave it straight like this. Yes. Yeah, and just bring it closer to your face so we can see you. And it's okay to just leave it that way. Just move into the shot. We can't see you. Okay, this works. Just move your chair. Don't touch your phone. Just move your chair a little bit into the middle of the camera. Oh, dear. Okay, that works. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Professor. Let's start with the figures. There has been a lot of comment on, the figures of the number of people that are in this country. Some people say we're not up to 200 plus million. Some people, I heard a preacher yesterday allege that in some places they count cattle and herd as people, and even outsiders, to get to the 200 plus million that you, the NPC, tout. Tell us again why many people should believe that we are 200 plus million Nigerians in this country.
I hope I'm not muted.
Yes, we can hear you
Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay. No, but by the last census, we are about 200 and something million in Nigeria. People were counted. Well, there are always allegations of some kind of manipulations here or there, but we can't discount that because people always try to manipulate to inflate census figures just as they do during elections. But we cannot, just based on that, throw away the census figures. The census figures are the facts we have to work with. So looking at the number of Nigerians, it is possible. There is nothing to doubt the fact that we are about 200 or something million. And that might not be too much of a population for Nigeria as a country. What I don't believe is that we're overpopulated. I don't believe we're overpopulated. Even if we're up to 400 million, we're not overpopulated because the country has the resources to support that. But going by the 2006 figures and by the projections, the annual projections method, it's a good estimate to say that we're about 240 something million in Nigeria.
A former chairman of the National Population Commission under the Goodluck Jonathan administration had raised doubts again. And this is your insider. This is not a politician. This is not a naysayer. This is not an opposition. This is someone within the ranks. The man who actually ran that commission questioned the figures in themselves. And you're still saying that by the last census, where we stand at a certain amount, once a person within the system questions those figures, is it not a cause for concern for every other Nigerian who's working with those statistics? Because these statistics, like the president has said, will help us in infrastructural development, in giving the kind of healthcare that we need. It will help in terms of technology use, etc. We need these numbers to be able to even plan our budgets. There are those who are experts in the business and economics department who tell us that the budgets that we draw every single year is a fraud because we do not have accurate data. What do you have to say about this?
Yes, there is no doubt that the census, that's the population, the number of people in the country, is a soft infrastructure for planning. It is very critical for any sort of planning. If you don't get it right, if you don't have the right figures, then any planning we're doing is only more of a guesstimate than actual planning. So to that I accept the census figures is very critical for planning, for accurate planning. And the unfortunate thing in Nigeria is that people play politics with population census. People do not see it as a critical thing for a critical infrastructure for planning. They see it as something that we use for politics. And because of that, there is always that tendency to manipulate the figures because people want to inflate their figures. They believe that the figures are used for distributing the national cake, for sharing national, so they want to inflate. These are the things that the former chairman saw and raised alarm. Yes, we were together. He was our chairman then. But that was actually what drove us into saying, okay, this time let us do a biometric census. That's why we went for a biometric census, because the biometric census ensures that, one, it is auditable. Somebody cannot just come to Anambra State and answer John Okafor and then move over to Kano State and answer Mohammed Saliu, the same person. If you try it, the biometric, person will identify that those two are the same persons. And then there will be no issue of counting, as they say, counting cattle and counting other things. It must be human beings, and different human beings counted differently. So that's why the biometric census was introduced, so as to ensure that what we get is the accurate figure, because these figures are very critical for planning.
The president recently, the MPC came up with the budget, obviously, and I mentioned it earlier, and presented it to the president. We'll come to the part where we talk about the budgeting, but most importantly, let's stay with the biometrics aspect of it. And I am not a doomsday prophet in any way. I'm just a journalist who's asking a lot of critical questions that Nigerians will obviously ask me, and I'm asking you, sir, because you obviously used to be a commissioner. The last time we talked about the use of biometrics for anything was our elections. And we saw how that panned out. There were so many malfunctions here and there. Secondly, Nigerians have been made to queue up for data collection at every single point in time. You want to get a driver's license, you queue up for biometrics. You want to get a new phone and you want to register for a telephone line, you do biometrics. You want to get your driver's license, you do. You want to open a bank account, you do biometrics. Where does all that data go, and how are we using it? For example, the NIN that we were made to, line up in the sun and in the rain to get, and Pantami at the time promised us that it was the best thing after sliced bread, and they were going to use it to track terrorists. Here we are. The same Pantami went on social media to beg people for monies to release people who were kidnapped. So again, why should Nigeria trust, or Nigerians trust, that this biometrics being introduced into data capturing for our census can be trusted?
Yeah, you see, the truth is that this multiple capturing of data, of personal data, is unnecessary. And it is suboptimal. It is unnecessary and it is expensive. Yeah, this should be captured at one source. And the National Population Commission is one commission that deals with people from cradle to grave. It handles that. It deals with Nigerians from the birth to death. Mm-hmm. They should have data for all Nigerians. That was why when we were there at the commission, we planned for a census, a biometric census that will get the accurate data and then allow other agencies to plug in and play. For instance, to open a bank account, the banking industry doesn't need to capture a fresh data from you. They can get it from us, from the MPOPC. For a driving license, they get it from the MPOPC. Even for the ID card, they get it from the National Population Commission. This is what they should be. All right. Other agencies handle, like the NIMC handles Nigerians from 17 and above. Mm-hmm. But the NPOPC handles Nigerians from birth. You should have the database of all Nigerians from birth until we pass on. So it is very critical that the NPOPC gets it right. Does an accurate, reliable, auditable, and verifiable census for Nigerians. so that all other agencies can now plug in and play. That is actually the fact. These multiple ones is unnecessary. It's expensive, and unfortunately, there is no integration. At some point, the Goodluck administration tried to do an integration, but somewhere along the line, the political will was no longer there to really integrate. Certain interests were allowed to play out, and that integration was not done. Otherwise, these things would all have been gathered together into one database. All we need is one solid, sound, accurate database of Nigerians. And then all other agencies can now take data from there.
Professor Moore, you're telling me that you as an MPC or former MPC commissioner have come up with this idea of a unified data bank, but then political interests surpassed, or rather overpowered it, and it was killed on arrival. So again, I put the question to you: who's to say, even now that we're in a more politicized system, that will not be overtaken by events? I know you're no longer in the system, but you're like me are from the outside watching. Who's to say that will not be the case today?
Well, one keeps hoping that at some point in time the right thing will be done. Yes, it is only the matter of one keeps hoping that the right thing will be done. Going by the pronouncements of Mr. President and then the preparations as initiated by the MPOPC, we hope that the right things will be done, and then the correct figures will be obtained.
If I didn't know that you were a professor, I would have said you're a politician, because that's the most political answer that I've heard in a long time. One keeps hoping. What has hope ever gotten for us as a country? In case you're just joining us, ladies and gentlemen, the program is Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're also live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. This is obviously the big hard facts today. We're looking at the upcoming population census that has been obviously instigated by Mr. President. They've come up with a figure, but the president is saying it's too expensive, and he's also saying maybe we'll have to use core members. But before we come to that, how can we be certain that this particular census will be done with every form of accuracy, decency, and transparency? The nice professor here is saying let's hope upon hope. But what has hope ever gotten us in this country, sir? Before we go on a break, Professor, what has hope ever gotten us in this country?
Well, unfortunately, Nigerians get disappointed. I remember that before the last elections, the chairman of INEC made all the promises, gave all the assurances, and yet Nigerians got disappointed, got burned. So I don't know. It is the tough thing. But what do we have in the midst of all this is, again, hoping that we get it right. Hope is not a good strategy, but then that seems to be what we are left with.
Is that what we'd like to think?
Unless we find
is that what we're left to think that we're left with? Is that what we think that we're left with, as opposed to what we should be asking for?
No. We should hold our leaders to account. We should make them realize that we want to get these things right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we should ask questions.
Okay, well, we're still talking with Professor Chika Moore. He's a former commissioner at the National Population Commission. And, of course, we're looking at a population census that might hold sometime in 2025. The presidency has been hit with the bill. The presidency is saying, well, it's too expensive. How about we go with core members? I'm going to come back from this break and ask the good professor what he thinks about this strategy. He has said that hope is not a strategy. Let's talk about the core member strategy and other issues that have been raised with the budget of the next census. We'll be right back. Don't forget, you can post your comments on our live feed on Facebook and on YouTube. On WhatsApp, it's 080-959-75805. You can send us a message, or you can call us if you're calling us from outside of the country. It's 080-959-75805. We'll be right back after this break. millions of listeners trust us on Hard Fact. Whether it's politics, social issues, controversies, and trending stories, you know we're credible and objective.
It's Hard Facts with Maryann Okon on 99.3 Nigeria Info. More talk, news, and sports after this.
Start your children's day with a great taste of Ovaltine, enriched with multi-nourishment, calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
You remember the old days? You wanted to send a letter, so you'd write it by hand, buy a stamp, drive to the mail station, and wait weeks for a response. Then email came along. Boom! Message sent in seconds. In no time, right? The world is changing. Money is changing. So why are you still investing the old way? Researching, guessing, praying, stressing. With Second Mountain, you go from posting letters to instant messaging, just like that. Second Mountain gives you freedom and control. You decide when and how you want to use your money. No lockups, no middlemen, while keeping full control of assets with self-custody. Imagine if you'd invested in Bitcoin 10 years ago. It's been the better performing asset 8 years out of 11. Visit secondmountainhq.com today. Don't be the one saying, I wish I'd started sooner. Second Mountain, financial freedom for everyone.
Let me ask you a question. What holds you back when you wake up each morning? Is it the uncertainty of how the day will unfold? And as the day goes on, what makes your heart race? Is it the quiet fear that maybe you're not doing enough? And when it's evening, is it the longing for just a little more time? Whatever it is, remember, challenges don't define you, but how you rise to meet them. Staying connected to your dreams, that's how you break free from limits. Get unlimited data plus up to 6-hour battery backup to keep you connected without interruptions on Airtel 4G 5G Smart Connect. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to find out more. Airtel, a reason to imagine.
My children are athletes. From the moment they wake up, they keep playing and learning. So, when I pack the new Milo NS snacks into their lunchbox, I'm giving them a delicious snack with the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and crunchy Niger-grown maize, containing calcium, iron, and fiber.
Milo NS Snacks, snack of future champions to help your kids refuel and keep winning all day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Attention, travelers. Pack your bags. ValueJet now flies from Lagos to Owerri and Owerri to Lagos twice a week. Enjoy a great mix of modern convenience, affordable fares, and hassle-free travel on every flight. Whatever your reason for travel, ValueJet gets you there in style and comfort. To book your flights, visit our website at www.flyvaluejet.com or download our mobile app on Google Play Store or App Store.
ValueJet, wings for everyone.
Sister chasing all the bags. Come and secure another bag with the Jolly Just Come Welcome offer. BetKing is giving 100 Naira instant sign-up bonus. That's not all. Within 14 days on the app, you stand a chance to get up to 1 million Naira in rewards and enjoy 50 free casino bets on Aviator. Download BetKing app and register today using the promo code FREEBETS to enjoy your 100 Naira instant sign-up bonus and other exciting offers. Terms and conditions apply. Not for persons under 18 years. Play responsibly.
Mama, you know say pudding they make small pikin grow well and strong.
Since I discovered Maggi soya chunks, to add protein to my food don't dey easy. You fit add them to your rice, spaghetti, noodles or stew 10 minutes before food done.
Now, I know they worry whether them get protein for food because with Maggi soya chunks, I fit give them protein for food.
Protein every day for my family.
Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Join us as we celebrate 10 years of empowering futures. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or a hardworking professional, we are here to support you every step of the way with our expert guidance and tailored financial solutions. The horizon is yours to explore. Join us today and start your journey to a brighter future. For more information, you can visit us at any of our branches close to you. DDMFB, empowering futures.
The holy month of Ramadan is upon us. As we embark on this journey, let's not forget to show love through sharing. This Ramadan, stay ahead with dairy power from suhoor to iftar. Join us every Monday to Friday as we explore the spiritual and physical benefits of the month, plus exciting recipes. Catch us on our YouTube page, Kolandia Dairy Nigeria, and on Dadin Kowa, Faranwata, Sunna TV, Arewa TV, and African Magic Hausa TV stations. Ramadan Mubarak from Hollandia.
Welcome back to your number one talk, news, and sports station. This is Nigeria Info.
This is Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. My name is Shegwa Rinze.
All right, this is the nation's number one talk news and sports radio station. We're broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios here in Maryann Okon, Victoria Island, Lagos. This is Hard Facts, and I am Maryann Okon. And if you're just joining us, we're talking about the upcoming population census and the questions surrounding the process before today. And of course, maybe tomorrow, there will always be questions about the figure, the number of people who are in this country. And my good professor, who is a former commissioner with the National Population Commission, Professor Chika, is joining us live via Zoom here to help us understand the process and all of the things that need to be done and put in place before the said census. Now, Professor, before we went on the break, I was talking about the fact that there was a bill that was laid in front of Mr. President. I know you no longer work with the NPC. You obviously are not there anymore. But we hear that, a big bill was laid in front of Mr. President, and the president said, this is too expensive. We need to go with core members. Now, you've also talked about the fact that we need a unified data system. How do Nigerians, let's start from there, ask for that unified data system, being that we still haven't been able to even unify the system to have one form of identity? Some weeks ago, I had somebody from the NIMC here, and I was complaining about the fact that people now say that random phone numbers are attached to their NIN, and people use that NIN to receive loans, and then they will now be the ones who have to pay back the loan because it's their name that's on the NIN. If we cannot trust that process, how do we ask for a unified system even before the census in itself holds? Is there even a possibility of that being actually cracked?
Actually, which one goes before? It is an accurate population census that will drive the unified system. If we conduct an accurate population census, then we will now create a comprehensive data of Nigerians and residents in Nigeria. And then it is from there that we now have that unified system. So that's the criticality of the population census.
So you don't think that getting a unified system first before the census is what should happen?
We could have a framework. That's not the issue, and then the framework of the population census. If we drive a vital registration, there is another being done by the vital registration there, and all we will find it to fit into analysis.
Do you have the time for that to happen? Do you have the time? Because we're looking at 2025 here, and this is already what, March. Do we have the time?
Yes,
to harmonize the data that you already have?
No, that is the problem, because the data we have, some of them, as already we are seeing the complaints, some of them are not even reliable. Okay, they are not reliable. There are some we have that we can't even access. There was the first registration that was done, the first ID something that was done that was powered by Sajem That one is no longer available. You may have the card, but it cannot be verified.
Wow.
And now there is this name which is being currently issued, and now we have the problems that at times strange numbers are now attached to it, and then people use it for fraudulent purposes. So that data again is not reliable. So that is why we need a strong system, a secure and robust system, which will write on an accurate, reliable, and comprehensive population census. And then that will provide a unified system for all other identifications.
Let's talk about budgeting. I'm looking at the budget here, and it's a 942 billion naira census budget. We hear that the president turned it down. Sources that are privy to the discussions, top government officials, said that the president suggested the deployment of members of the National Youth Service Corps to do the exercise. And this was after, the NPC had briefed Mr. President. The special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Nanuga, in a statement said that quoted the president saying that they will set up a committee to look at issues critically and do a source and application of sources where Nigerians can get help on how we can lift before we embark on proclamation. So money is obviously a problem. Manpower also is a problem. Do you support the idea of using core members for the process?
Yes, use core members, but then core members will be ad hoc staff. Okay. You cannot do without the well-trained technical staff that will come from the commission itself. You cannot do without them, because these are people who have been trained. Some of them have been vigorously trained, both overseas and at home, for this exercise. You cannot do without them. But we can use the core members, but they won't even be enough. The fact is this: we look at budgeting because we see census one thing. We should know one thing, that apart from war, census is the largest mobilization that any country undergoes. In actual fact, it is the largest peacetime mobilization that any country embarks on. So when we talk about the budget being very expensive, I understand because of the economic situation. But if we need to get it right, we need to get it right. And most of this, the amounts we are spending on these various disparate identity collection, data collections, if we had unified everything, we wouldn't be spending those. And then those will actually be savings. And given the cost of items, now, I am not surprised that the 900 and something billion budget by the commission. But what can be done is that technology is changing, particularly in the ICT industry. So there's a lot of integration, there's a lot of miniaturization, there's a lot of visualization, there's a lot of sharing that can now be done to be used to drive down costs. For instance, the commission doesn't need to embark on building a data center. It is not necessary. There are shared lessons that will offer the same security. So these are things they can look at to reduce the cost.
You made mention.
I am not surprised that now.
I'm so sorry, Professor. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I'm not surprised at the 900 and something billion that coming from the commission, because census is not. And even when we use core members, they have to be paid. Everybody, if you send anybody to the field, you have to pay that person. That's for sure. If you don't pay the person well, then you make the person amenable to manipulations and so on. You have to provide accommodation. You cannot send anybody to the field where the person will stay for 1 week and you don't take care of the accommodation, you don't take care of the feeding, you don't take care of incidentals. So most of this money will still go into people's pockets. That is for, it will be as a monument to people for Esther code and so on.
Services rendered. Okay.
Accommodation. Yes.
You made mention of the fact that the data that was collected by Sajem back in the day is nowhere to be found. It's not even trusted anymore. What must be done now if you finally do collate all of this data from the census? what can be done to make sure that this is watertight and protected and can be made reference to going down the line? Because of course now you've talked about the fact that there's technology and certain improvements which would help, but how can we, because in this country unfortunately we're terrible when it comes to data management, how can we become better at it? What should the MPC be doing, for example, because is your constituency? Professor, are you there? Professor, are you there? Can you hear me? I think we lost that connection, but we've been speaking with Professor Chika Moore, a former commissioner at the National Population Commission, and we're talking about the upcoming census. We'd like for you to join the conversation. Don't forget, you can call 0201 465 7190 if you're a lady. If you're male, call 0201 277 0993. That's 0201 277 0993. On WhatsApp, if you're listening from outside of the country and you want to be part of the conversation, you can call us via WhatsApp on 08095975 805. That's 08095975 Also live on Facebook and on YouTube. Post your comments, your questions for the good professor. Would like to hear from you, but please do not call me on WhatsApp if you're not calling from outside of the country. We can tell from the number when you call us. Also, please keep limited to 60 seconds. All right, we appreciate you. For now, we've lost the connection of the professor. He will join us in a bit. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good evening, Dr. Maryann Okon.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Dr. calling from Lakwe.
Go ahead.
Thank you for your thorough drill of the professor on this issue of census by this current government. We'll be having all sorts of things all this while, whereby Nigerians are made to go and stay in the queue under the sun, under the rain, and at the end, nothing comes out of it. How am I sure government that we all know of, they will not turn the effort into dustbin, then waste the money and the energy of the core members that are going to be used? Instead, why not channel that money into hospital, into school for Nigeria? Because
but we need to know the number of Nigerians that we're working with. That way helps us with budgeting and planning, whether we like it or not. We must know it.
It's a necessary thing to do.
Yeah.
But looking at the caliber of rulers and their ways, politically and personally, nothing substantial will come out of it.
Okay, Godwin, thank you very much for calling. Your 60 seconds is over. Obviously, you have someone there who does not necessarily believe that our government is capable of truthfulness, transparency. He's asking, how are we sure that this will not be a waste of, our lean resources and a waste of time for the young people who would participate in this, process? But hold that thought, Professor. Let me take another call. Hello. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Yeah, Mary, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Jonathan, and great to hear your voice again.
Thank you, Jonathan. Go ahead, please.
I think, Miriam, just like you said, it's an important exercise, and it's very good that they do it. But my point I want to make is this. Going forward, what happened? Are we going to budget? Is it 900 billion or 900 million? I'm trying to get the number that was budgeted for this. Are we going to be doing that? We should set a structure on ground such that it will be cut and paste. And we don't need to go through this exercise. We don't need to go through it again. So the leaders should put their thinking caps and look at what they are going to do going forward to waste our money, and we just get the numbers that we have. And it should be given.
Okay.
Enjoy your afternoon.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan, for calling. Let's go to WhatsApp. Don't forget, you can join the conversation via WhatsApp. Call us on WhatsApp if you're listening from outside of the country and you're interested in the population census. Please call me back again. For those of you who are calling on WhatsApp, I'm ready to take your calls. So go ahead and call me on WhatsApp. 080-959-75805 080-959-75805. I see a call coming in here. Let's try and see if we can take that call coming in. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts. That call went away. Do call us back if you can. Ayo here says, do we have birth and death records? This should be a starting point. We need digital to get accurate results. This is from Ayo. Professor, I'm coming to you. This is a good question. I slipped my mind. I was going to ask, do we have an up-to-date death and birth records of Nigerians?
Yes, thank you, Miriam. Unfortunately, we do not have it comprehensive. We do not have a comprehensive data. It is not 100%. There's good coverage, but it's not 100%, and it can be done better. In actual fact, I said for that's what I call vital registration. The vital stats, the birth and death registration. We have good coverage, but it is not comprehensive. It's not 100%. Not every child that is born that is actually registered, that's captured in Nigeria, and I think it can be done a lot better. Actually, the proposition of the commission has been to do a comprehensive biometric-driven census, and then now, having done that once, use the vital registration to update it annually. Because if the voter registration system is up and running 100%, you may not need this census. You may not need this live census. You can only do confirmation. Because from the voter registration, you'll be able to update the census figures and it will be accurate.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody had asked a question earlier on that how can we be sure that this is not going to be a waste of our money and our time?
Unfortunately, this is a human thing, and you're dealing with human beings who are subject to vagaries. But that's why I said, likely it is a hope thing that it will be done right this time. People will campaign, people have to put pressure and try to make sure that it is done right. Just like Nigerian Info is doing, bringing in the awareness, and people are talking about it. These are the kind of pressures we need on the commission and on our leaders for them to know that we need this and we need to do it accurately. I hope other stations will join the push. These are the kind of pressures we need to bring on them to show that Nigerians are aware, we are watching, and we want to see an accurate census.
Lovely.
That is it. But human beings.
All right, let's take a few more calls. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Miriam, good afternoon.
Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Robert. I want to ask the professor. We always talk about data. Why is it that we don't have data in this country? And how are we going to fix the data? That's my question.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Well, Professor, over to you.
Okay, I don't think that our problem is not data. I think we have two data that are not unified, and therefore we have we should have data that is functional. There are two data. How many times they have biometric system there? Yes, proper identity. So it's not having it is different. So we need proper data Nigerians.
Right, let's take the hand to facts.
Hi, good evening, Maryann.
No, you have to call the female line. So call male. Thank you. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We have VN and NIM and the driver license. What are we doing? Because I didn't think that things for now.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me read some messages off, and then of course I'll let you respond to them. On WhatsApp, Dele here says this census should be jettisoned because it's a means of embezzlement. Birth and death certificates, accurate or not, should be used till we have to have an account at government. Okay, I know you meant government or till technology than this live census. He says. I don't believe that 100 million population figure is between 100 and 150 million. Projections from the past inflated figures have been used to bring up over 200 million figure. Nigeria largely rural and life is urban to the and capital not present everyone will be heavily placed. Numbers in this, I believe that currently more than 50 million people. Our birth rate is high, death rate is low. Our fertility rate, I don't think is around 100 million. That's not country students and academically with added of or donations and to over 2 children elsewhere, around more than 50 million. So all these, especially the geography students. I like how he said he can assume missions are now run anyway, but
yes, it is exactly to have an accurate census. That's the sense of an accurate census. People argue that we are less than so we are, but in Nigeria, there are very densely populated areas and there are sparsely populated areas. Nigeria is a vast country. The truth is that when I was in a mission, we went to the infield, we wanted to shack to any physical pass. We want to go out, make sure they count everybody, and then whatever we see, we'll report. And it's because of this kind of feelings. You can see already 2 people calling in. One says he doesn't believe we are up to 200. The other one says we're even more than what we are saying. These are all based on projections and guesstimates. We need to get the accurate figure. And it's only by going out on the field and doing it. Yeah, we are using projections. And if you are projecting based on a flawed figure, of course, your projections will also be flawed because the projection assumes that the figure you had initially is good, is correct. And even projection cannot be taken too far. Mathematically, by the time you project for more than 5 years, going to 10 years, errors build up. That was why the United Nations prescribed having a census every 10 years.
Yeah.
Because by then, the projections begin to get faulty.
Yeah.
So projecting for more than 20 years, of course, means that there will definitely be, even if the original figures were correct, the projections will be wrong.
Yeah.
And now, if the original figure errors, then the errors would have built up one way or the other.
Well, we have to go, Professor. I want to say thank you for being our guest today and helping us to make sense of all of this. We will be definitely bringing you back sometime soon as we inch closer to the projected date of this census. Professor Chika Moore is a former commissioner at the National Population Commission. Thank you so much, Professor, for coming on the show. We appreciate you.
Thank you again for having me. Thank you.
All right. Well, Lagos, there you have it. I've got to go. Don't forget, the news comes up at the top of the hour. I beg to differ. The finals is on Thursday, but on Wednesday, the third place match will hold. You cannot afford to miss it. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, MIMIEY. Well, I'll be back tomorrow as we talk about the SDP calling for opposition to join them. Well, let's talk tomorrow. My name is Maryann Okon. I love you, Lagos. Bye-bye.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info.